The ahadith tell us, and in fact even the Quran tells us, that some people will be resurrected in a manner that will either honor them or humiliate them. So the actual resurrection itself, when they come out of their graves, either immediately or shortly after that, things will happen to them that will either dishonor them or will raise their ranks. For example, we learn in Sahih Bukhari that our Prophet ﷺ mentioned that there will be, that Allah Azza wa Jal mentions in the Quran actually, that certain groups of people, يُحْشَرُونَ عَلَى وُجُوهِهِمْ, they're going to be resurrected on their faces. So rather than standing up, they will be upside down. The Prophet ﷺ was asked, hadith is in Bukhari, how can they be resurrected upside down? He asked the question. He was asked the question, how can they be resurrected upside down? Our Prophet ﷺ said, isn't the one who caused them to walk standing capable of causing them to walk on their faces? So the one who caused mankind to walk standing up can cause them to walk upside down as well. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. These people, our scholars say, that this is the humiliation for them for refusing to bow their heads in sajda in this dunya. Because we have a rule in the Sharia, al-jaza'u min jinsil amal, that the punishment will be in accordance with the crime. What you did, you will be punished in accordance with that. So groups of people who were too arrogant to bow their heads to Allah, they will be punished by being resurrected upside down. Now your heads are down. And Allah mentions in the Quran that on that day, يُحْشَرُونَ عَلَى وُجُوهِهِمْ إِلَى جَهَنَّمْ, they will be resurrected on their faces being dragged to Jahannam. And our Prophet ﷺ mentioned, the one who caused them to walk standing can cause them to be dragged upside down as well. In another hadith in Tirmidhi, our Prophet ﷺ said that the mutakabbirun, those that had kibr, they will be resurrected like atoms on the day of judgment. They will be resurrected with the smallest, كَالذَّرَّةِ. And dharra in Arabic, of course the modern word dharra means atom. In classical Arabic, dharra meant the smallest object imaginable. There's nothing smaller than that. So when scientists discovered the atom in the 50s, Arabs called it the dharra, because in classical Arabic, dharra was the smallest concept that you can think is called dharra. And so the Prophet ﷺ said the mutakabbirun will be resurrected like dharra on the day of judgment, and people will trample over them. And they will say, who are these people that are like dharra? And it will be said to them, these were the mutakabbiruna fi dunya. We said right now, al-jaza'u min jinsil amal. Those that felt themselves pompous, those that felt their egos to be like as big as the clouds in heavens, they will be resurrected like ants on the day of judgment. So the punishment will begin from the very time of resurrection. The punishment will begin from the time the graves open up and the bodies come out. Bodies will be different. Not all bodies are going to be the same. And we learn this in a number of traditions. For example, in Sahih Muslim, our Prophet ﷺ said that the one who constantly asks people for no reason, مَا يَزَالُ الرَّجُلُ يَسْأَلُ النَّاسِ, he's going to keep on asking people, give me some money, give me this, give me that, and he doesn't have a need. We're not talking about somebody who's starving. We're talking about somebody, has no haya, no decency. The person who has decency, even if he needs something, he feels shy to ask. And this is good. This is a sign of iman. If you have to ask, you ask, but there should be a shyness. And the one who has no haya, he just gets favors and favors and favors, and he doesn't care about paying them back. He just wants to benefit from other people. So our Prophet ﷺ said that a person will continue to ask people without any reason, just taking advantage of others' generosity, until he will come on the day of judgment and his whole face will be shredded, not a single piece of flesh will be on it, like a bare skeleton, a'udhu billah. Why? Because he had no, in Arabic, wajh means dignity. Wajh, dhu wajh means you are a person of dignity. So he had no wajh in this world. He had no dignity. And so on the day of judgment, his dignity, and in this case dignity means wajh here, that it will be stripped away from him and he will have nothing. So our Prophet ﷺ mentioned explicitly that the one who continues to ask and ask and ask, and in fact this is mentioned in one statement of one of the Sahaba, that لا يزال العبد يسأل وهو غني حتى يخلق وجهه فلا يكون عند الله وجه. A person who is rich but continues to ask people without a need, his face will be torn apart. حتى يخلق وجهه. خلق here does not mean to create, it means to pull away, to shred. His face will be shredded. فلا يكون عند الله وجه. He will have no dignity, wajh. So wajh means dignity and wajh means face. So because he didn't have dignity in this dunya, on the Qiyamah day, on the day of Qiyamah, he shall have no dignity, and here means no wajh in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is negative examples. There are positive examples as well, that the bodies are not going to all be the same. And of course the most obvious positive example, which we mentioned last class as well, is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying that the martyrs will be resurrected and their wounds and their pus will be as you see it. Its color will be the color of blood, but its smell will be the smell of mask and rih. Okay? You look at it and it looks like blood. It looks like something that is cut is there. But when you smell it, the smell will be of Jannah. So it will be a badge of honor. It will be a mark of honor that this is a shaheed. All of the wounds that he had will actually be giving a type of smell, a type of positive aura that will impress the people around. And this will be a badge of honor for the shaheed. And another hadith mentions, يُبْعَثُ كُلُّ عَبْدٍ عَلَى مَا مَاتَ عَلَيْهِ. This is a famous concept that has an element of truth to it in our traditions. Every person shall be resurrected doing what they died doing. Or one interpretation can be doing what they constantly did. So the one who constantly did dhikr, the one who constantly did some good deed, they will be resurrected and they will be doing that deed. And we seek Allah's refuge. The one who did something evil, they will be doing the mechanisms of that evil in a manner that will not be honorable. It will be dishonorable for them on the day of judgment. And we also know that the one who used to give the adhan, on the day of judgment, he will be giving the adhan. Or in one narration, he will have أطول أعناقا, long neck. It doesn't mean he's going to be a giraffe. It means he's going to be recognized. He's going to be walking, everybody's going to be looking up to him. It's translated literally that the longest necks on the day of judgment will be for the mu'adhin. It's an expression. People need to understand, you don't translate expressions from one language to another. You don't say, he was caught with his red-handed. You don't translate red-handed to another language. You have to say, he was caught guilty. That's how you translate it. So in Arabic, the longest necks, it means that they shall be recognized. Everybody's going to look up to them. Doesn't mean they're going to be giraffes like this. That's not something that... But the mu'adhin, on the day of judgment, the one who constantly gave adhan, his lifestyle with adhan, he dedicated his life to adhan, he shall be recognized for the adhan on the day of judgment, and people will know that this was the mu'adhin of this dunya. So this clearly shows that not everyone shall be resurrected in the same manner. That as soon as the resurrection occurs, maybe even the bodies will transfer, maybe even the clothes that are going to put on them are going to be all different in accordance with what they used to do in this dunya. So much so that some of our scholars said that the one who would be drinking alcohol, he will be resurrected with the cup of alcohol in his hand, that people will see that this was a drunkard. And the one who would be doing this and that, he will be resurrected with the thing in his hand. We seek Allah's refuge. Now, there's no explicit hadith, but people have derived this from the hadith. People will be resurrected doing what they did. This is a hadith, so they derive from it. It's not explicit that the drunkard is going to have the cup of alcohol in there. Nonetheless, the generality of the evidences says there is a basis for this.